Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Elevated Beauty Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Fouts, owner of Elevated Beauty Aesthetics in Sierra Vista, Arizona. And today's a special episode. I have a guest speaker on here, Katie from MBK Cultivate Skin and Nutrition, located in British Columbia. She is someone that I've been acquainted with for years through Facebook aesthetic forums. She is someone who I consider to be an amazing mentor for new and seasoned estheticians. She offers an Acne Detective course and also just open communication on these forums. So I'm looking forward to learning more about what she offers and how she got to where she is now. So if you're interested in hearing us chat, as always, just keep on listening. All right, so here I have Katie, and first, Katie, I want to say thank you for taking the time to speak to me and joining for an episode. And as you may know, I don't know if you probably haven't listened to it before. My podcast isn't like super big or anything, but it is mostly geared towards estheticians. So I am grateful to have you here because you've been such a great source of education for many people. And
thank you.
Yeah, of course. And when I first was following you, I didn't know about your acne course. But besides your educational course, which we will get into later, you've been active and an admin for years on like the esthetician forums on Facebook, which is where I became familiar with you. And so before I get into the main stuff that we wanted to cover today, on behalf of new estheticians, seeking knowledge, I wanted to say thanks, and also a segue from that. I did want to know, like, do you enjoy offering like open communication education, or do you do that on these forums because you feel like there's kind of a lack of it and you're like feeling a need?
There's definitely a lack of quality education in our industry. It seems that in the last, well, at least in the last 10 years that I've noticed, especially in the last 5, is that schools are just pushing out estheticians and are only teaching the bare minimum so that you pass your state board exams and get your license. And yes, the bulk of your knowledge you'll gain through experience and all that stuff. I do agree to that, but I think that there should be some more knowledge.
Absolutely, because
lacking, that should be included.
yeah, I know I did not learn anything in esthetician school.
I was blessed to have teachers that were very supportive of education, but they also said, like, our job is only teach you enough to pass the exam, but we will also, share with you other things. And if we have time, if we finish our protocols and stuff and we have time to talk about other stuff, by all means, we'll do it. So I'm very glad that our teachers were very supportive of that. And we're pretty open and honest about the industry. It's not rainbows and unicorns all the time.
Exactly. I know only so many estheticians make it, but I think it was important to mention that because I do kind of think that every esthetician is responsible for their own education and how they further themselves in the industry.
Well, it's like that with any professional, right? Whether you're a mechanic, a doctor, a lawyer, right? You learn what you need to learn in school, but it's up to you to decide your career path. I had an original vision for my career path, and it's changed a few times. So I was willing to be open-minded and learn things, even if I didn't agree with it. I'm glad that I learned it.
Yeah.
And sort of kept it as a resource in the event I come across a situation where, like, you know what, I don't agree with this philosophy, but maybe this philosophy will work with this person.
Is oncology aesthetics one of those things? Because when I was looking at your Instagram, I saw that you were specialized in oncology aesthetics. Was that something that just kind of like crept up on you and you're like, oh, okay, I'll learn about this?
Well, for me, it was mostly because my mom had passed away from cancer. My aunt was going through cancer at the time, and we lost her a few years ago. And I had a couple of clients that were either cancer survivors or going through treatments themselves. But for me, it was just I just wanted to know what I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
In the event that my clients or family members go down this journey, so that I have extra education and knowledge to support them.
Exactly.
I don't necessarily market it because it's still a very taboo topic to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
But makes the caregivers very much alone, as well as the people going through it very much alone.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was just more education, and I do encourage estheticians to take it because you never know if any of your clients are going to walk down that journey.
Yeah, and they need special care taken, when they go through that. So
It's a different ball game dealing with someone who's going through chemo and radiation than is your average person.
mm-hmm. And that's not something I know about. So yeah, maybe that'll be something that I'll kind of learn in the future.
Yeah, no, I definitely encourage it. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I definitely encourage. For me, I just wanted extra knowledge to have that. And, I've had a few clients that have gone through cancer since then, so I'm glad I was able to, support them in other ways that their other practitioners weren't able to support them.
Right. Okay, so I will go ahead and get into the main questions that we kind of went over before, or that I sent you before. So first, can you tell me about your journey of conjoining functional nutrition with the way you treat skin? And at what point did that crossroads of functional nutrition and skincare happen for you?
So for me, I've had gut health issues since I was a child. I was a very nervous child. My mother was not the best mom. What mom is perfect? But my mom had emotional issues, so I was constantly in trauma mode, in panic mode. So there was abuse going on, and I got diagnosed with ulcers at 14, and my doctor's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
If you're a child, you should not be having ulcers. And I'm like, have you met my mother? So, thankfully for him, he did not want to put me on medication because he believed that, I could heal myself.
Is that a stress response?
Yeah, because I was, my mom
Mm-hmm.
my mom had lovely good days and she had horrible bad days. So you just never knew that if you said hi, if she was going to embrace that or if she was going to attack.
Right.
So that's the thing. I was on constant eggshell.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're constantly going, okay, is she in a good mood today? Is she in a bad mood? She was an undiagnosed bipolar. So it just sucked that I had to constantly be on eggshells around her. And it caused me so much stress. So, thankfully the doctors help by helping me manage my stress, mind over matter philosophies, and also learning to not eat the conventional 3 meals a day, try and have 6 smaller meals, not to eat till I'm full. Some people tend to overeat, which can also be hard in your digestion. And my ex-husband and I, we were into bodybuilding, so that's a whole other, level of nutrition and gut health. Mm-hmm. And when I got into aesthetics, we're going over the biology and everything like that. It's where I learned about, more about the connection between gut health and skin health, gut health and mental health. And it just sort of clicked. I'm like, okay, well, the topicals and treatments are great for the surface, but I myself can't do the internal things because I don't have that piece of paper that says I can't. So with functional nutrition, it uses the principles of root cause resolution, so taking a full body system approach to client health. Because, we all know that when it comes to acne, gut health is a link. When it comes to rosacea, gut health is a link. When it comes to all skin diseases and disorders and other diseases and disorders, the primary root cause is gut health. So it just made sense that in order to become a better esthetician was to get my nutritional education under my belt so I could better support my clients in both skin and gut health.
Yeah. I guess there's the saying, you are what you eat, like for a reason.
Totally. And you are what you absorb, because even though you may, when I hear people say they eat healthy, but if I look at their food journal, I'm like, you're missing a lot of key macronutrients here.
Mm-hmm.
So, you think you're healthy, but there's definitely room for improvement, because you're still having these issues because you're not eating enough, or you're not absorbing enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that, course of antibiotics can disrupt the gut microbiome for 2 to 4 years.
Yeah,
And that's just one round.
It's crazy. There's so much that I don't know. I know like the entry level into gut health, and I do have that on my acne boot camp. Like I have specific questions to kind of determine, but it's so much. So I will eventually take your Acne Detective course. That way I can have that knowledge. It's a lot of information.
It's a lot of information. So that's the thing, acne courses, there's a lot of great acne courses, like Face Reality is a great course. The Cornea Therapy Connection one from Rococo is a great course. Mine just digs a little bit deeper on the internal side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, we have these discussions with our clients, but it's a very gray area.
Mm-hmm.
Because of scope of practice. But, by having that safe discussion to clients, like something you might look into, you might want to talk to a nutritionist, to help you. And a lot of estheticians have gone to nutrition as well, because they understand that they can better support their client on both sides.
So I guess that brings me to my next question is like, how would you define your MBK Acne Detective course? And like, which you already said, it differentiates from others because yours goes more into like the internal health.
Yeah. I don't believe in chasing symptoms. Right. Acne is a sign of an imbalance in the body. And everybody always blames hormones. Yes, hormones are a root cause, but there are several root causes that cause the hormonal balance. And so, I don't want to give my clients a Band-Aid solution to provide temporary relief. I want to get to the root cause of the problem. So by educating a client, we, as a team, like me and them, we're going to resolve their acne by achieving lasting lifestyle changes. Mm-hmm. Because there is no cure for acne. And yeah, I can get their skin clear in 4 to 6 months, drug-free, but if I can educate them on certain principles to continue for the rest of their life, they're better able to sustain their gut health, be able to manage their hormones. So they still may get acne here and there because life happens. Mm-hmm. And we all fall off the bandwagon periodically. As long as we get back on, it's great. So the chances of them having a future outbreak, the impact will be minimal. The healing process will be faster, and it won't be so emotionally devastating as some people tend to treat their acne. Right? There's a large emotional impact to that. So
yeah, I mean,
yes, you have but you can manage your acne better.
Exactly, and that's what I tell my clients. I don't want to create fear around any food group that's a potential trigger for acne, but you need to know that you need to control it. And once your acne is managed, you can indulge in those foods periodically. That's what I do. But I know when I have a milkshake that I'm probably going to get a pimple.
Yeah, that's what I tell my clients. I had one girl a few years ago. She was so heartbroken that she would have to give up ice cream because that was her comfort food. And so I had to sort of dig into the psychology and go, what's so special about ice cream that you're so attached to? And she's like, well, it's for me and my girlfriends, we chat. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But do you have to have ice cream every day?
Exactly.
Are you open to having a healthier version of ice cream? But we can still have your comfort food. You're tricking your brain that you're eating something naughty.
Yeah.
It's really healthy.
That's a good point.
never thought of it that way. I said, my trick is I love chocolate pudding, but chocolate pudding that most of us are accustomed to is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I can have, I can take an avocado and put it in a blender with some raw cacao, a couple of dates, some honey, some oat milk or almond milk, and some chia seeds, and whip it up in a blender, and I've created myself my indulgent favorite dessert. But it's loaded with healthy fats. It's got sugar, but it's a natural sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using whole maple syrup. And I may throw in a banana to give it a little bit extra richness to it. And I'm eating a fruit, an avocado, but it's loaded with healthy fat.
I actually never thought about it like that.
So healthy.
A lot of, yes, like a lot of people's, like you said, quote unquote, naughty foods are kind of like an experience to them versus like they just have to have this and they love it. But it's like eating this is an experience and a comfort. So you can still do that, but implementing healthier practices.
Exactly, right? There's lots of great foods that I love, but I can't have because there's an inflammatory component to it. But if I can make a healthier version of it, I can still have what my heart desires, but not have the physical reaction to it, like bloating, diarrhea, constipation, and, eventually acne. Right?
Yeah. And it's not just acne, like all these things do other things internally to your body as well, right?
Because the main component of acne is inflammation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So diarrhea is inflammation, bloating is inflammation, right? So it's the things that we don't necessarily correlate that there's a connection.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I tell my clients, I'm the first one to admit I don't always practice what I preach. I'm human.
I don't think anybody does. They might pretend like they do, but...
Yeah, right? I do my best to eat clean and lean 6 days a week, and I allow myself a cheat day. That way, if I want to have, a couple pieces of pizza, I'm not, denying myself something that I enjoy. Mm-hmm. But I know that pizza might not be the best option for me, but I still enjoy pizza.
Yeah.
But hey, I can make healthier options on my pizza. I can have a salad with my pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I can sort of offset the naughtiness. But, I'm not denying myself. I'm saying it's all about balance.
I agree.
But I try to avoid the pro-inflammatory foods because those really cause havoc on me.
Mm-hmm. So do you have, for any estheticians that might be interested in your MBK course, what are the rates like for it, and do you ever do any yearly specials for it?
I do have it on sale currently. So the regular price is $500 US, and I do have it on sale for $350 US. So if you go to my website, mebykatie.com, on the top of the website, you'll see acne programs. There's one for consumers, because I have an acne course specifically for my clients. Mm-hmm. And then there's one for estheticians. So give you an idea of what my course is about, what's entailed, the modules. There's 12 modules. It's pretty sciencey, so don't be alarmed at the overwhelm. It's totally normal, and I totally get it.
Yeah, that's how years ago when I took the Dr. Lance Sutterfield, Conscious Guide to Microneedling, that was very sciencey as well. And it took me like years after I purchased it in the book and everything to actually understand some of this stuff.
Yes, I agree to that because I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I had to reread a few paragraphs over again. Like,
yeah, Google, what does this mean?
So I offered for $350. There's a coupon code. It's Acne 2022. So I do have it on sale periodically, and Christmas is always a big time to have a sale. So definitely put on your Santa list and ask Santa for.
Yeah, and it's a tax write-off. So.
Yeah, exactly, right? Your education is a tax write-off. under professional development.
All right. So my last question for you today, what are a couple, I always like to, add this into some of my podcast episodes. What are a couple of your 2022 favorites, like things or some practices that you've discovered or rediscovered this year that you love?
Well, 2022 has been a bit of a challenging year. I had to close my commercial space in August. I wasn't going to renew my lease. It became too costly to operate a commercial business here in my neck of the woods. And I'm like, I don't want to hustle 7 days a week
Right.
to make a lease payment. I'm a big believer in work-life balance. So I basically closed my business the end of August. And then we also moved out of our apartment that we lived in for 12 years. We're now living in a house rental. So I did 2 moves in 5 weeks.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot.
I don't recommend. So I wasn't really focused on much for personal stuff as well as professional stuff, because like I can only take on so much.
Mm-hmm.
As an introvert, our energy levels are very sensitive. But I'm definitely enjoying working virtually from home full time. So I do a lot of skin coaching virtually. I do a lot of nutrition coaching virtually. I have created a couple of courses for consumers, along with my professional course. We did do some new product images because I have my own skincare line. My husband has his beard line, so we did some new photos for that. And making lots of healthy recipes because I'm also a holistic chef.
Oh, nice. You are like a jack of all trades.
Pretty much. Well, I find that, before I took on more nutrition education, when you tell clients don't eat this and don't eat that, they're like, well, what do I eat? I'm like, there's plenty to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't grow up in a kitchen like I did.
Yeah.
My mom was a hobby chef. It was the only time that her and I could really communicate in a healthy mother-daughter way is if you're cooking and baking in the kitchen. So, it's basically I have a recipe club, so I make up a bunch of recipes, healthy versions of breakfast, lunch, snacks, desserts, for people that, find it challenging to find healthy recipes.
Do you share any of these recipes, like on your website or?
I use my blog as my recipe. I have a bunch of free recipes there. So there's omnivore recipes, there's plant-based recipes, and my recipe club is only $20 a month, so you get 30 recipes a month.
Oh, wow.
Both omnivore and plant-based. And so, yeah, I'm contemplating doing a couple of videos online. I hate being on camera.
Right. But then you just have to do it once, right? It's not a reoccurring thing.
Well, I think, I just got to get out of my way of my own success. I'm totally fine being behind the computer.
Mm-hmm.
But, I want to teach people that, if you want to have balanced hormones, you want to have a healthy gut, and you want to have clear skin, you have to eat healthy. But you can have all your favorite foods in a healthy way.
I think that's really good. And that's something that I struggle with is like cooking, because I'll bake, but I hate to cook. I just like to do simple recipes because I have like ADHD, and I'm like, I can't sit here and put together all these ingredients, like, unless I can just throw it in a bowl and mix it up.
Yeah, no, it's for me, I can usually read a recipe. I'm talking with a website expert right now, and she's like, you have so many recipes, you should be doing this, you should do that. I'm like, no, I don't. I hate when I go look at recipes. I hate having to scroll down the novel. I just want the recipe. I can read a recipe and look at it and decide if I want to make it or not. I don't need the novel story about how it was created and why.
Mm-hmm.
I want the deep.
Well, if you ever print out a recipe book, let me know, because I'll buy one and I'll share it.
We're trying to do that on my website. I want to be able to at least throw out some sort of. I do offer ebooks online, but we're trying to figure out how to do it so it's not so cluttered.
Mm-hmm. And that's
That's what
probably better
Medicine Club
because
comes in, because
everything's
starts
like
putting right back
ebook.
with you.
Sorry.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it is true that in order to live healthy and age gracefully, it all does come down to gut health and eating healthy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to know. I'm definitely going to have to check all that out.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you and getting to know more about your acne
Thank
course
you.
and the nutritional side of things. I think coming into aesthetics, not everyone knows that there's that link there. So
That's true. And I do encourage all estheticians to take a gut health course and take a nutrition course. I think it's a huge asset to have in your business, because you can do nutrition clients as well as aesthetic clients. And sometimes you'll have clients that need for both services. So yeah, I do encourage everybody to do that, because it's only a year or 2 year program, and it gives a little extra support for your client.
Mm-hmm. I hope that was equally as beneficial for you guys as it was for me. After our chat, I'm even more excited to take Katie's MBK Acne Detective course. I feel like if you're going to treat skin, like revisional skin therapy, acne specifically, you do need to invest in courses like this. Like she mentioned, there are several acne courses on the market available. Her specifically focuses heavily on nutrition and the relationship of your skin health and nutrition. Not just that, but your internal health in general in relationship to nutrition, and also dives deep into skin function. So I'm excited to learn more about that, because nutrition is a whole ball game of its own, and I am looking forward to having that education at my fingertips and being able to apply that into my business. So she has the discounted rates right now that she mentioned, so go over to her Instagram, Me by Katie, and check that out. Go on her website. But just thank you guys so much for listening. A lot of this podcast is for me, but I also want to offer education to you guys as I'm learning things. I want to share it with you and offer you what I know. And I've known Katie for a while, and I've known that she's been a great mentor, and so I really wanted to have her on here because I feel like she has some of the best education possible in this industry. So as always, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you next Monday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for another episode.